Is it time for a VA? I think we're going to find out today. Welcome. We are on a journey to uncover the secrets of living with F.A.V.O.R. And F.A.V.O.R is an acronym of the 5 key areas of growth that were my focus over the last 40 years in business. F.A.V.O.R stands for faith, abundance, vitality, overflow, and relationships. I started this show to honor those 40 years of business, 40 years as an entrepreneur. And the promise of the show is really to introduce you to my expert guests that have simple solutions for your business and life struggles. Sometimes I also get to share a bit of advice. So welcome to Living with F.A.V.O.R. I'm Lisa Mosbey. I'm the host of the show, and I'm here to fulfill my purpose to advise, train, and come alongside you with those simple solutions for life and business. Today's expert guest has become a friend of mine. We met through a networking group, and her name is Jill Overby, and Jill is the owner of Brilliant Business Support. Welcome, Jill. How are you today?
Good morning, Lisa. I'm well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. Jill and her team offer business support where if you have things that you want to delegate and don't want to do anymore, she has people that will step in and do that. So I totally have selfish reasons for inviting her here because I have a captive audience now. I can ask her any questions I need to about having a VA who's here to support me. So we're going to learn all about, how do we take care of ourselves in business to get the job done without exhausting ourselves. So I'm going to toss it over to you to start. How did you get started doing this, supporting all of us entrepreneurs?
Well, good question. Back in 2018, I had been praying actually for 2 years prior to that for God to show me something that I could do to be at home, to be available mom for my kids. I have 3 younger kids. And I came across a Facebook ad one day, spring of 2018. And it was all about being a virtual assistant. And I was like, that's intriguing. What is that all about? And I'm a very high fact finder. So I had to did a lot of research. Yeah. And I took a couple courses and learned all about business and how I can support entrepreneurs with the back end of their business virtually. So I was able to quit my job in fall of 2018. And wow. And I would just, I really, it just came so naturally. I had a lot of gifts and talents and skills from my prior work in education that actually related to a lot of what I was doing online. And so I just it came to be from there, and I was able to help entrepreneurs with their goals, help them get more hours of their day. And it was just really fulfilling for me. And I've just kind of grown and developed my business from there.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that your background is in education. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How did that prepare you? Because we have a lot of viewers who, maybe in other careers right now, and they're looking at how do I, one, stop working and doing time for dollars? How do I start to create a residual income, have a business, maybe change locations? Maybe they want to work from home or work on the road like I do. Tell us how, what did that transition look like from education to, being a business owner? Because that's a big swing.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was. And I'm not a risk taker. And so it was a difficult decision. I'm not saying that anything was easy, but it was kind of a step-by-step process. So my background, like I said, is in education. I was a college and career specialist. So I was good at formulating a plan to reach a goal. And so I would work with my students and kind of figure out what their goals and dreams were. And I'm good at breaking down things. Okay, so let's do this like one step at a time. And so then I kind of applied that to my own life as well. Like, what are my goals and dreams? How am I going to get there one step at a time? And it kind of came down to a belief in myself and that I could do this, like this was possible. And so I was feeding myself with a lot of great podcasts and a lot of information that I found online, and connecting with people who had gone before me and were also doing this. Like I said, I'm a high fact finder. So I started out with taking a smaller course to figure out, okay, is this something that I could do? I had a lot of skills, like I said, not only in helping to develop a plan for goals, but I kind of ran my own office. I didn't have a secretary or an administrative assistant in my own role in the school. And so I was doing my own, appointment setting and calendar and email management. And I had my own budget, and I was marketing for different events that I was planning. And so I had a lot of different things that I was doing there.
Yeah.
A lot of those pieces. And so taking those and realizing, hey, I can really help other entrepreneurs put this together as well. And then it came down to the fall of 2018, when I was like, oh, I really don't want to, like, this wasn't fulfilling me as much anymore. And I felt like I was destined for something more. I felt like something was missing in my life. Yes, I wanted to be an available mom. That was so important to me. And I felt like if I looked into my future, I didn't want to be in this like room where I didn't have windows anymore. And I was there from, 7:30 to 4. And it just wasn't as fulfilling anymore. And so having that belief, and then the blessing, of course, I was lucky to have the blessing from my husband. And then I had to check with my mom, because she's also not a risk taker, to make sure that this was a really good decision. So, those people in my life that I knew who would support me in this, that was golden for me, because like I said, I'm things like that would normally probably, I'd be like, oh, Jill, I don't know that you should really do this. Like, who are you to think that you can, that you could be something like this and have your own business? And but just growing in that belief in myself and having others to support me. So I was able to quit that job and go all in. And it started with just a couple clients. And it was nice to have those couple clients even before I quit my job, so that I had some sort of, income coming in. And then once I made that decision to go all in, then I just had to hit the road and start running, forming those relationships to meet different business people. And then it all kind of just fell into place. So.
You make it sound so easy. We've had conversations about this before, because Jill also is part of a mastermind group that I'm involved with, and it didn't fall into place. You worked really hard. Thank you for making the audience feel that this is easy. We're not saying it's easy and not effortless, but the desire, you had the desire. There was a greater purpose, which I want to talk about, that greater purpose, the kids, and being there and being the kind of mom who is available for them, but making a plan. So many times, I'm not a planner, and that's why Jill is my friend, because she's going to teach me to be a better planner. I jump in the deep end and go, oh no, I can't swim. So, making a plan, actually lining up some income producing clients before you even left that job, to give you the confidence to make the leap and go out on your own. If we unpack all of those things that you shared, just the process, and I'm fascinated by people who have that great logic mind that can walk through those steps, identify the gaps between each of those steps to keep moving forward and make things happen. I'm more of like a bull in a china shop. We're going, let's do this. And then I figure it out as I go, and I grab people who know how to do those things. So there's a different style for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're reserved and quiet, not a risk taker, versus somebody who, jumps out of a perfectly good airplane, somebody who is an extreme risk taker, and everybody in between. If you want to be in your own business, you can do it. I always ask people, F.A.V.O.R kind of is an acronym that came up for me as I was reflecting back. Is there one of those 5 principles that sort of stands out for your business right now?
Yeah, I would say definitely relationships. I am such a people person, a connector. I really feel like I am made to get to know people on a deeper level and form those relationships, whether that be for a client or whether that be for someone who just needs to connect with someone else who I may know. I think developing those relationships is pivotal in business, but it's more just a fulfillment for me personally. Like, I think I've said this before, Lisa, I could talk on a Zoom call or face-to-face, like with someone, a new person all the time, all day, just to get to know them and truly know their story and figure out if there's any way that I can bless them in just a little way. Like, if it's, like I said, if it's introducing them to someone that they need to know, or it's just listening to their story, or however it may be, that just fills my cup. That's just a light in my world when I can meet someone and form that relationship.
Yeah. And you are a light in my world because I see that in you. You'd go deeper with everyone. You always ask, like, first question is, how are you doing? And checking in. And, there's this, I love working with people who I call those heart-centered leaders. You come from the heart. Like, you're going to get to the business, but you always come from the heart. Always, always come from the heart. For me, sometimes I consider myself a heartfelt leader, but sometimes it's like, okay, I got to get into this. I got to go. And I forget to say, hey, how are you? How are the kids? Sometimes, honestly, I do forget to check in because I'm sort of driven and on mission. And so I love that you're able to do that. Just nothing is more important to you than those relationships. I totally see that in your business. And I think that's why you're so perfectly suited for what it is that you do, because you dig deeper with your clients that you work with, and you really do try to match the right VA to match the personality of the person that they're supporting. All month I've been talking about writing our next chapter, about getting a clear vision for connecting to something greater than yourself, greater than your business. Like, who are you serving and how are you impacting people on a global scale? So I'm going to throw that out to you. Is there something you kind of alluded, kids might be part of that, but I'm thinking, because I know you work with a lot of women, I don't know if it's predominantly women, but is there something greater that your business has connected you to?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing that earlier about the relationships. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. So definitely it's something greater. So yeah, the reason that I started was to be an available mom, and so that I can not miss out on the field trips and getting them on the bus and getting them off the bus. And so this is, I think, a multi-level kind of question for me. So that I feel like that's my first level. And I also, my middle son has type 1 diabetes. And so that was a huge part of it. When I was at the school, I was over 30 minutes away. And so he wears an insulin pump. Like, if a pump had failed, or if his blood sugar was really low or really high, like, it was just a really big stressor. And so when you have a child with special needs, it's really hard. It's really stressful to be that far away from them when you're trusting someone else with their care. So that, again, that was a huge thing. Now in my business, if I can support, if I can have a team made up of like moms, or even like moms who might have a special need child, if I can help give them some time at home, be an available mom, that's a huge blessing for me. That's a blessing for them. They can work from home and make a decent amount of money and not have that stress. And maybe they can pay for those extra medical supplies, or maybe they can pay for a camp. Like, there's all sorts of special needs camps out there. So that's one level. Another level is just being able to, like you mentioned, like that heart-centered, those are my people who I want to work with. Those women who are typically, my clients have been nonprofits and coaches, consultants, and healers, those people who serve others. So if I can give them, if Brilliant Business Support can give them more time during their day to then serve more people and help more people, then that is amazing too. Like I call that like a win-win-win, right? Where like it's filling my cup, it's filling their cup because they're able to now serve more people or get into their more zone of genius, do things in their business that they love to do. And maybe that's even more time for them to sit down with their family for dinner at night. And they don't have to be, you know, working to the late hours. Maybe they can go to their son's baseball game. And as far as hiring people on my team for who are moms who want to serve others too, but yet have that income for their family and be an available mom. All of those kind of, you know, surround me in who I want to serve and that higher purpose.
Wow. I got goosebumps. You know, that's true impact, you know, finding a need and filling it, because there are so many women who want to contribute to the financial support. And, you know, part of my message is encouraging women to have their own money, have their own business. Things happen. You know, I found myself alone after 29 years being married and never having filed a tax return, 50 years old before I filed my first one. Whoa, you know, I don't want that for anyone. And so you know, that's another way that we align, is the way that you serve women and the women that you choose to serve, that you choose to support, and that you choose to offer opportunity for. Just, it's so beautiful and heart-centered. That I love that. You know, in one of our mastermind sessions, you talked about this comprehensive interview that you do with clients as you're onboarding them, as you're getting them started. And I'm fascinated. As I recall, there were 7 areas that you focus on. And I was wondering if you could like share a little bit about that, like how you invite women in to see if it's a good fit for you to be able to support them with your business. Like, tell me about that onboarding process. I want to give folks an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. So typically I start with a clarity conversation, and this is typically a 90-minute call. And we go through, like you mentioned, good memory, those 7 strategic objectives. And so a lot of times we don't have the time to focus on all of them in those 90 minutes, but we pick out the 7 strategic objectives that would fit with them right now. So if they're where they need the most help right now. So those areas are in the financial area, visibility, so like your marketing, team growth, customer client experience, how you're walking your clients through that, operation efficiencies, so those are your, you know, your systems and your processes, your product or your service, and how you're developing those. And then the last one is actually personal or professional growth. So I also have another service that is separate, where we spend actually more time, like 3 sessions going through all of those. But when someone is just trying to figure out, what do I need and do I need to hire, this is a good first step. It's only $99 for this 90-minute call. And what I help to kind of pull out of you is, which of those areas should we focus on? And within that area, what tasks can we complete now? Or what tasks should you start now to move that needle forward in your business? So sometimes you might think that you need to hire someone, when in reality, you could just put the system in place or process in place, and you could save all this time. So I think it's really important when you're starting to work or think you want to work with a virtual assistant, you want to figure out if that's what you need. And then if it is, then let's figure out, what area should that virtual assistant go into right now? Which tasks do they need to just go in and start running with, so that, you know, you can get the most impact right away? And so when you work with Brilliant Business Support, you also get that kind of business strategy piece first, and then I work with you or the client, and I work with the team member kind of along the way too. I don't just like, here's your VA, have, good luck, hope it all goes well. Like I really want to make sure that progress is being made, like the big pieces are really coming together to make the greatest impact.
Yeah. Yeah. What I love is that I'm hiring an employee technically, a former, an independent contractor, but yet they're going to be working for me, but you're managing them. So I'm also hiring a manager, and there's no additional cost for that. It's part of the cost of bringing somebody on. And I don't have to worry about them being trained. If they don't know something I need them to do, it's like, go talk to Jill. She'll get you up to speed. I love that idea. It's so many aspects of your business are the pebble in the pond. When you drop that pebble in the pond, that ripple out effect of how you help, the end user ultimately is your entrepreneur, small business, but that stay-at-home employee or that mom that wants to do something different, or even, that woman who maybe doesn't want to go into the corporate environment for whatever reason. Maybe she's not a mom, it's like all of these little ripples of people that you're affecting with your business, that you're impacting. I love those ideas. As we start to close this up, is there a piece of business advice that you would give to women who are looking at creating residual income or getting into their own business? And then I'm going to ask the second follow-up is any advice for those that are already in business? So it's a two-phase. You can start with either one, actually.
I think if you want to get into and have your own business, do some soul searching, do some journaling, do some praying. What are you good at? What fulfills you? And maybe if you're not sure, ask the people around you, what is it that people come to you for? What is it that you give to others? Because sometimes that is exactly what you should be giving to the world, not just keeping to yourself. And so figuring out what that is, and then you doing your research. I wish I was a little bit more like you, Lisa. I wish I could jump into that pool without knowing how to swim. But my advice would be to do a little research, find out what it is that people will pay you for, that you enjoy doing. That's the number one thing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, if it's not fulfilling to you, it's not going to last. You're not going to truly serve others the way that you really could if it's not something that you truly enjoy. And have belief in yourself that it is possible. Look for those mentors, look for those people who have gone before you, and connect with them. Because if there's no reason, if someone else has done it, there's no reason that can't be you.
Alongside,
so just have that belief. For those that are in business right now, or just starting their businesses, it's hard. A lot. When I first started my business, I was just kind of like, I had that shiny object syndrome. Like everything was really cool. Like I wanted to do this and I wanted to do this and I wanted to do this. And like, I was getting really easily distracted, and I was looking almost too much then at those people who were kind of similar to me. And again, I had to go back to where I started and think, okay, what am I truly good at? Like I am someone who is very analytical. I'm very detailed. I'm not that visionary. I'm totally that integrator. And that's okay. Like even I go back to some of my meetings at the school, and we would have these meetings where they were coming up with different ideas. And I didn't really have that many ideas to share. And I thought something was wrong with me. I thought because I was someone who was thinking through the process of these ideas, that I think I was feeling like, why don't I have something to share? Why can't I come up with ideas? What's wrong with me? And it's just the way we're all wired. Everyone is wired so differently. I was thinking of the whole process of these ideas before I could even like go on to the next idea. And so, again, it comes down to your gifts and what you're good at, and how can you really excel at that. So kind of stay focused in that, stay in your own lane, have that belief in yourself that you can accomplish whatever goal it is that you have, and make those steps, make those plans to reach those goals. And don't get that, shiny objects like, all things, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
I love that you kind of identified that we talk about through this whole show, we've talked about how we're different, just different personalities. If you're not a person that does research, I research, and I have so many PowerPoints and presentations that I've created because I love to do that kind of research. I don't like doing the processes. Jill knows exactly where my gaps are in my business. Like, what are your processes? And I go, those are not streamlined. So that's where I need someone with her skill set to come in, do the research, look at how I work and actually create a process for me first before I bring on somebody else. I can't even teach a VA what I do because I do so much of it that there is no process to pass off to that person. So, I think assessing what are your skills? I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that. What are your skills? What gives you passion? What lights you up? For me, the Lord has blessed me with the gift of gab, and I'm a quick thinker. I love to interview and speak and talk and consume data and then simplify it and share it with people. But if somebody else takes care of all the other stuff to get me to that stage, to get me to that conversation, that is a dream come true for me. And that's what your unique skill set is. So, just like Jill said, you don't have to have all the ideas. Maybe you're the one that's the implementer of the ideas. None of us are, in my opinion, none of us are complete. Like, we all, are designed to need each other and to work together. And so, my purpose is to help, inspire people to bring out what they're great at, and then help them to align with those gaps that they need to fill in their business and their life. We're talking a lot about business, but a lot of these same concepts apply to life. Jill, we are at the end of our time. This has been a wonderful conversation. Where can people find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. It's probably the easiest way. And I think that those will be in the show notes, or email as well at jill@brilliantbusinesssupport.com.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope you all had a takeaway, got a little bit of advice that may unleash some confidence for you. Maybe you discovered something unique about yourself that gives you the experience to become an expert and help others. I'm Lisa Mosbey. I've been your host. I just want to thank you for letting me share a bit of advice, introduce you to my expert friends. And if you want to experience joy and personal fulfillment running a successful business while creating a residual income, I would love to talk to you. Let's dig deeper into your business and see if we can't figure out where we need to go next, what next steps would best serve you. So if you're ready to grow your business online, my team and I will work to reduce your struggles and give you simple solutions to make that happen. Let's discuss your business today. You can just go to lisamosbey.com and click book it to schedule some time to do that. The best part of this show is always the time after the show where we linger longer and we get to go deeper into the topic, create accountability for you on those next steps. So if you do want to join us live, you can go to winwinwomen.tv and join live every Tuesday at 9:00. And then we open up the Zoom call. We chat, my guests and I chat, or I teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up and have a private conversation where you get to go deeper on that topic. So every week I want to, invite you all to participate in that. And if you so desire to get some support and some accountability, I'd love to see you next week. So I'll leave it at that. I will see you all next week. And again, thank you to Jill, my guest today.
Thank you.